I swiped my access card for the last available sensory-friendly airport pod, and before the glass door could even slide shut, a man in a tailored suit was already wedging his briefcase into the frame. He started tapping his platinum watch aggressively against the glass. I took a deep breath, stepping back to allow the automatic door to open. "You're taking up the executive business pod." His tone was dripping with unbearable condescension. "I know," I responded quietly. "I reserved it." I pointed at the digital display, showing my last name next to the accessibility icon. He didn't bother to look. "I need you to vacate this room immediately. I have a $12 million merger call in 10 minutes. You're clearly just killing time." I glanced over my shoulder anxiously. My 14-year-old son was already shrinking into the corner of the padded seating area. He is severely autistic. Overwhelming crowds, loud announcements, and fluorescent lights cause him intense physical pain, and aggressive confrontation makes him completely shut down. "This quiet room is for my son's medical needs," I said calmly. He leaned his head around me and peered inside, staring directly at my boy, who was starting to rock back and forth. "Him? He just looks like a spoiled brat who needs a good spanking. I don't owe you any medical history," I shot back, keeping my voice low. He scoffed loudly. "Invisible conditions. Give me a break. Let me guess. He gets fussy when he doesn't get to play his video games." My son's breathing got faster. He started humming a high-pitched, self-soothing tune. "It's okay, buddy," I whispered. The guy sneered. "Oh, the big boy is throwing a tantrum. Maybe because he knows daddy is coddling him to steal premium amenities." I glared straight into his eyes. "It's pretty clear what your major deficit is." "Yeah, what's that?" "Basic human decency." His jaw clenched tightly. "Are you absolutely sure it's not his?" I saw red right there in Terminal 3. I wanted nothing more than to grab him by his lapels and introduce his face to the floor, but catching an assault charge at O'Hare would ruin our lives. "Find another place to take your call," I said, my voice shaking with restrained anger. "Or what?" He pulled out his phone. "Go ahead and try it. I'll have security drag you out in cuffs." I tried to shut the door, but he blocked it firmly with his leather shoe. "Look at your luggage. Brand new sneakers. You aren't disabled. You're just exploiting a loophole so your teenager avoids sitting with the peasants." He pointed his finger right at my boy. "You're a parasite," I snapped. "Do not point at him." He pushed harder, smiling. "Look at him. No wheelchair. Just a lazy kid." My son spoke up, his voice incredibly small. "I'm not lazy." He snapped back at my boy. "Keep your mouth shut, kid." My knuckles went bone white. "Do you want to leave this airport in an ambulance?" He chuckled mockingly. "Focus on medicating him properly so working adults can do their jobs." Then, the man crossed an unforgivable line. He reached past me, ripped my son's $350 noise-canceling headphones right off his head, and tossed them out into the bustling concourse. "Oops," he smirked. "Go fetch." My son instantly screamed as the deafening airport noise flooded his ears, curling into a tight, panicking ball. I shoved the businessman as hard as I could. The headphones bounced perfectly onto the moving, oversized baggage carousel right behind him. The businessman stumbled wildly, dropping his briefcase. His ultra-thin silver laptop slid out, landing right next to my son's headphones on the moving rubber belt. He scrambled toward the carousel, vaulting the metal guardrail to grab his computer. He lunged onto the moving belt, ignoring the flashing red warning lights. I easily grabbed the headphones near the edge, but his laptop slid much further down. As he stretched to grab it, his silk tie caught tight in the heavy rubber flaps of the luggage intake tunnel. The machine didn't stop. It pulled him forward mercilessly. He screamed an animalistic scream as the belt dragged him headfirst into the industrial machinery. I heard the sickening crunch of his laptop getting pinned and shattered between the heavy metal rollers and his shoulder. "Help, turn it off," he shrieked loudly. A TISA agent sprinted over from the checkpoint and slammed the emergency stop button. The businessman was wedged deep in the tunnel, covered in thick black grease, his arm pinned awkwardly, crying hysterically. I placed the headphones back on my son, whose breathing finally steadied. The TISA agent covered his mouth, suppressing a massive laugh. "Man, karma works fast," he whispered to me. I got the whole thing on camera. The businessman sobbed uncontrollably in the dark tunnel. Then, I heard my son speak up, completely calm. "You wanted an executive suite. Enjoy the cargo hold."